Alright, hey, this is Mega here, and I'm just shooting an update video on the KO Tech factory spec controller. Alright, motor and controller combo, more specifically the controller. Alright, so yeah, so I've done like 3 updates on this controller so far. Alright, so I did the PC. I used the PC first, and then I used the new beta app, and then I upgraded to the newest one, alright? Or I updated to the newest KO Android app, is what I'm going to say, alright? And so, yeah, I had a problem. Here's the story. I had a problem with my bike, alright? It wasn't running so well. It was kind of cutting out on launches, and it wasn't, when I turned on and twisted throttle, it wasn't doing anything. And I think it was because my bike was wet. So I sent an email to KO Tech, and Ian at KO Tech replied to me, and he said, hey, hop on Discord and let me check out the settings on your bike. Alright, so that's what I did. I finally installed Discord. Haze Mega, you know, man, I don't use Discord, okay? Haze Mega is like from the time of AOL IM, alright? That's how old I am, okay? I'm telling you, I used the AOL IM, alright? It's not around anymore, man. This is the very first chatting software, okay? Instant messaging software, yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I installed the Discord app on my phone, and then I chatted with Ian, and we talked. All right. They're based in the UK, if you guys are wondering, the tech support. And so you got to catch them in UK time. Okay. So like for me, it's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, type of thing. All right. So I was like, okay, no problem. You know, I'm kind of busy, but yeah, let's let them take a look at it, alright? So I had them take a look at my bike. In Discord, there's an option where you can share your screen. You can show them what's on your screen, and they can see what's on the screen on your phone, alright? And so like whatever you do, whatever you're looking at on the screen, they can see it, alright? So and I had also done, I took a bunch of screenshots and I sent it to them through the Discord program, alright, app. And then he was looking through my settings, and he was like, okay, this, and that. Like, oh, you know what? You should probably update your app. So I was like, oh, there's an update? I didn't know. So apparently, they've released like a lot of updates. A lot of updates. So you got to go back to the KO Tech website and go to the KO apps, alright? KO apps. And then constantly check what version software they have available, okay? So Haze Mega hasn't been doing that, you know. Honestly, I don't really ride this bike all that much. I have been riding it a lot to tune it, is what I want to say. But really, this thing has just turned into a racing bike for me, okay? Or a racing bike that I can ride and tune on the street, alright, is what I want to say. But anyway, yeah, after the last race, I was pretty disappointed in its performance. And there was a couple things that I noticed. Yeah. So there was a couple things I noticed, like when you twist the throttle. It's happened to me a couple times, all right, especially on the launches, okay? When you're trying to get the whole shot, you need the bike to go right away, and the bike doesn't. It's kind of got a delay, or sometimes it just cuts out. It doesn't run at all. It just freaks out, all right? And I told them, I didn't have enough time to go look it through the app and stuff. I'm getting ready to go race, you know. I don't have time to do that, XYZ with the controller. I just need to hop on the track and do the thing, you know. So yeah, so here's a scoop. He told me that the problem with me, you know, the bike cutting out, like from when I'm trying to launch it, is because they had like some kind of programming in the controller. If you're trying to make the bike make a lot of power right away, it cuts off like that, all right? And the reason being is if you're like from a dead stop and you're trying to make it go, if you're trying to lug the motor, it puts a lot of load in the motor from when you're trying to take off, all right? You're trying to make something that's stationary, you know, take off. It takes a lot of power and energy to do that, and it heats up the motor and the controller, all right? Now, but that's a big problem in racing, all right, or like dirt biking, and that's exactly how I fried my last motor, all right, my Sur Ron motor, and the Electro & Co controller, all right. The controller would not make any power at 0 RPM, all right. Unlike the BAC controller, it makes it right away, it waits for it to roll a little bit, and then it gives you power. All right, but when you do that, you need a lot of power to clear obstacle. All right, clear obstacle, take off from a starting line, something like that. Okay, and you need to have that burst of power, right? And if you're constantly having to, if the bike dies and then you have to do it again, it makes the controller and the motor heat up even more and more and more. The more attempts that you do, it's going to make it heat up. All right. So I mean, if you get the power right away, you might be able to clear the obstacle. So I say, okay, I didn't really have this problem with the ASI controller, man. Is what I want to say. And yeah, so he said there's some kind of programming in there that they're going to take out of the firmware. All right, that allows it to just give you the power like right away. All right, it won't cut out or like try to pull back some of the power type of thing. But it hasn't been implemented yet. All right, so I don't know what's gonna happen. All right, thus far it seems to be okay launching is what I'm gonna say. But yeah, just that one day it was bad because it was raining. Anyway. So in this video, we're going to take a look at the new version of the KO app. All right, I'll show you some of the new stuff they put in. And Ian helped me tune my bike a little bit. He went through all the settings. He said, "Boo, do this, do that." All right, he helped me set a throttle curve that is kind of more manageable. All right. What I was trying to do is make it so like it had lots of power right away. But if you do that, the throttle becomes very touchy and it's very hard to ride. You gotta milk the throttle all the time, and when you're trying to milk the throttle a lot, it's difficult. It's painful on your wrist. It's painful, it's painful to ride that way. Right? It's very difficult to ride a bike with a very touchy throttle like that. Okay. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna go take a look at the KO app version 1.04. All right, 1.0.4 parentheses 39. All right. I guess that's 1.04 change 39. All right, so they've already changed the app or updated the app like 39 times, this version of the software. Okay, and I thought it was kind of lacking before, and then now I see like, yeah, they've added some stuff and they've fixed some stuff on it. So I can't wait to go try it out. Unfortunately, it's been raining cats and dogs in the Bay Area again, so I haven't been able to get out riding for like a few days now. So I say, all right, anyway, let's go take a look at the app on my phone. Okay, here we are on my phone. You can kind of see my reflection there, and that's okay. So this is the front screen, all right, when it's in portrait mode, okay? The phone I'm using is a LG V60, all right, if you guys are wondering. It's an Android phone. And I'll show you, I'll give you a tour of the software and things that I've noticed that are different, all right? So here you got your speedometer, all right? And I guess you can switch to RPM now, all right? I think before you couldn't do that. You'd have to turn it sideways to switch to RPM. So there's RPM and the speed. Okay, and then here's already something different, all right? There's profiles, all right? So if you go here, you can make different profiles, all right? So right now, I guess this is an 18 kilowatt tune right here, KO baseline, all right? So you could make different profiles. So you make a new profile and you change the settings and you save it, all right? If you have like a tune that you want to use for the dirt, or there's a tune that you want for drag racing, or you're going into kart track, or tune for dirt biking, you can make that, okay? So that's good. I like that a whole lot, because generally when I'm riding in the dirt, I want less power. I want less power, kind of a smoother throttle. I want a lot of regen type of thing. Yeah, so and then when I'm at like on a kart track, I want the power instantly. Because I'm twisting the throttle all the time. I need to make the bike go as fast as I can, type of thing. All right, so I would have different settings for that. So this lets you have different profiles, and you can change. Right now, I only have KO baseline. All right, so you can rename it. You can delete it here. What's this? I guess maybe that allows you to sort it. All right, and then so right here it says KO baseline. Oh, okay, there, changed it already. I hope I hope I'd saved it. Okay, some of the tuning is still in there. Okay, I think I I think I messed it up or something. Hadesbeg hasn't been really using this software. I just installed it. All right, so anyway, I think I messed it up, man. I put the old profile. We had already changed a bunch of stuff in it. Anyway, So yeah, when you first get this software, you got to just do the firmware update, and then you have to do the throttle calibration and all that good stuff. You select what motor you have, what controller you have, and then it sets it all up for you. Okay. There's still this here. You can reset the controller settings. You can unpair it. Okay. Here you now before I think there was just a voltage. Now there's a voltage and percent. All right, a state of charge. And then here you've got the controller temp and the motor temp still, okay, and it still doesn't tell you what number it is. There's just kind of just a bar that's telling you, you know, when you're too hot, okay. You turn it to in landscape mode, it shows you the miles per hour and RPM at the same time, okay. And you got your controller temp up here, your motor temp here, your battery state of charge, and then your profile that you're running, and then the menu, okay. So let's go to the menu. And I'll show you some of the different stuff that they changed. I think these are the settings we had in there. Okay, so one thing that Ian told me to do. Okay, so there's two different modes. There's an algorithm and custom. All right, so that's the one that you had before, where you had the standstill phase current, and you had the high RPM. Phase current. All right, so now they added a custom mode where you can customize the power at each RPM, okay, like how much phase current you'll have at each RPM. And so he told me to go up like 3%. All right, so you can see I'm going 75, 78, 81, 84, 87. All right, he said to go up 30% until you get to 6,500 RPM. All right, so it's 100, and then at 65 RPM, about 6,000 RPM, we start going down. All right, so we got 97, 94, 91, 88, 85, 82, and then 79. All right, so at 6,500 RPM, it starts going down 3% each one. All right, and so that's a base setting that he told me to try to work with, and then I could like try to tune from there. Okay, so I haven't tried it out yet, guys. Okay, and that's in the advanced setting. All right, so that's something different in the advanced settings, and it's still got the same EP mode settings and stuff. Yeah, that's a lot of power for EP mode still. I've got a speed limiter, 3,700 RPM. Field weakening is max, so all that is still the same. Throttle, I think he told me to put it at 6%, and you can calibrate the throttle. Okay, this is still pretty much all the same. All right, there's the motor. I don't think we changed anything here. Okay. It also does the calibration when you first set it up, so you don't have to do that anymore. All right, here's the braking settings. He told me to disable the brake sensor because I don't really have it anyways. All right, and then he told me to do like 20 and 25% for regen. I had it set to like 45 before, okay, because I like a lot of regen. All right, and he told me to keep the AN at 6 and speed KP at 5. He said, leave these, don't mess around with these settings. I think I had it set to 3 or 4 last time, so maybe that could have been some of the problems I've been having. That's the stuff that I read on the website, all right, for setting up the PC software. So he said like, no, just use these settings. Okay, so there it is. I'm not going to mess around with that stuff. And then here's another big difference. All right, the OEM speedometer. All right, so there is a way to calibrate your speedometer now. Hooray! All right, finally. All right, so he couldn't give me a setting because I told him I was running a 17-inch wheel and a 48 tooth sprocket. So this is going to be different dependent on what sprocket and what wheel size you guys have. Okay, so we're just gonna have to play the game, you know, ride around with the GPS, all right, and then compare your GPS to the one that's on the bike. All right, this guy. All right, that's for setting the computer. I know it's kind of hard to see. Okay, yeah, you can actually calibrate that now, so it'll actually be useful type of thing. Okay, so yeah, I still have to calibrate that. All right. And yeah, so and then these are just the controller settings here. I guess the max line DC current you can do is 440 amps, which is a lot. That's probably enough to nuke my battery. Max phase amps is 830 amps. The firmware voltage 72 volts. All right, that's dependent on what battery you're using. None of that stuff changed. Here's the firmware version is 24/11/2022. All right, that's November 24 of 2022. Okay, but don't think that's right. Okay, yeah, that's just not in November. I updated this recently. All right, so this is the app version 1.04, right? 1.0.4 39. All right, I don't remember which one I had before. I'm pretty sure it didn't say 39, that's for sure. All right, so this is definitely different than the last app that I had, because it has like different stuff in it, specifically this speedometer and then this tuning thing here, all right, for the phase amps, and I think that's it. That, and then the gauge is different, and maybe they changed some stuff with the software, I'm not sure, but okay. And then yeah, and then you could change profiles now. You've got a state of charge. Okay, so those are all the new updates that are on it. Okay, so yeah, there you go. That's 1.0.4 parentheses 39 KO app software. All right, it looks a little bit better than it was before. I can't wait to go and try it out when the weather gets better, though, unfortunately. And my bike is kind of broken right now. Okay, I'm trying to fix this primary drive noise problem when somebody crashed into me, man. I think some of my bearings are messed up. Okay, anyway, there it is. So I hope you guys I hope this is an educational and entertaining video. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you check on the website like what version of software you have and what's the latest version. All right, so definitely check on what software there is available. You always want to have the newest one, all right, type of thing. All right, and then, like I said, they're trying to fix that problem with the bike cutting out on takeoff and stuff. Okay, or like when the load is high or something. So hopefully they get that fixed. I did my first race with this bike and it didn't work so well. That's all I'll say. All right, but hopefully those settings that Ian gave me will work out. Okay, I made some 2 new profiles. All right, I want to show you guys how this works. All right, so I've got one for drag racing and one for dirt. All right, and then just a baseline one. So yeah, so if I want to, so right now I am in dirt. Right, I would hit dirt. All right, and then it will flash the dirt profile onto there. Okay, and then we're going to go to the menu and it will put my dirt settings. All right, so I've got less power. I've got 250 DC current and 550 amp phase. All right, and I'm going to have to play around with it. Okay, guys. But yeah, so there's an example, right? And then I've got a wait a minute. The starting point should be at 6. It's kind of weird. Some of the stuff I changed, but maybe that's just the power. Maybe it only changes the power mode. Yeah, it could be. Okay, now we're going to go to drag. It kind of takes a minute to change profiles. Okay, and then so now I have max power. All right, I have 300 amps DC current and 830 amps, so I can't wait to try out the maximum power. Okay, guys. All right. Yeah, what I might want to do is just keep on doing drag runs until the current till the battery cuts out, and then we'll know how much power we can pull out of that battery. The reason I want maximum power for drag racing is obviously, I'm trying to get the bike to go as fast as possible, and we only need it to go fast for a short amount of time, like 15 seconds. All right, so it's okay to use the full power because you're not really going to heat the motor or the controller up for that long. Okay, that's why I say it's safe to use the maximum amount of power because you're really not going to be using that power for very long. Okay, so I hate to say it, I don't think it saves the stuff from the throttle settings, man. The throttle settings are always the same. So that might be something they want to change with the software, because for different types of racing, I'm going to want different throttle configurations, all right? So for drag racing, I want the throttle to be really sensitive, right? I want it, when I twist the throttle, I want it to go right away, you know? Or I want this starting point to be a lot less, so I don't have to twist the throttle to get it to go right away. All I have to do is twist the throttle and it'll take off right away. There won't be that lag in the throttle, right? And so that's what this starting point adjustment, that's the deadband, guys. So like that would be nice if that's one thing I've noticed, because I set it at 2 for drag racing and now it's 6 again. So if I put it at 2, right, and I save it, and then we go to dirt, okay, go to menu. So we've got the same power settings, however the throttle settings don't change, all right? So it doesn't save the throttle settings, it only changes the power settings, unfortunately. So every time we go drag racing, I'm going to have to move this back to 2%, all right? So, but it was at 6% for dirt, right? So I want to keep it at 6%. So I'm just going to have to memorize what percent deadband I want. I'm changing the throttle on this bike anyway, so I don't think it really matters. We're going to have to recalibrate everything again. So yeah, oh joy, type of thing. Yeah, so I don't know what other stuff. I'm not going to mess with anything here. I could change all this stuff here. Yeah, let's turn up the braking continuous regen up to 25. All right, we're going to save that to dirt. All right, so it's 25 and 30, remember that. Okay, we're going to go to drag. Okay, now we're going to go back to braking. Okay, so it saves the regen settings. It doesn't save the throttle settings for some reason. Okay, so those are really the only things I would change. This one, the OEM speedometer, should always be the same, because I have the same. Well, yeah, okay. So there's another thing. If you have different size wheels or sprockets that you switch out all the time, that could be handy for this. Okay, let's say you use the Super Moto wheels and you still have like the 19-inch wheels, you know, and then you would have to change the sprocket size or something, or the chain every time. Then you would have to readjust this every time for it to be right, right? So that's where having the profiles would be handy, all right? Type of thing. Let's change this to, remember it was at 9. Let's change it to 6. All right, we're gonna save. We're in drag right now. Okay, we're gonna go back to dirt. Okay. Sometimes it just thinks like that. It's kind of weird. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's not. Okay, then we're gonna go back to here. And it's still at 6, all right? So this is the one that you cannot change, all right? Or you can't save it into a different profile. It was at 9, right? So put it back to 9, save it again, go back to drag. Okay, and it should be 9 still. Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's another thing that will not change, all right? So it looks like the only thing that changes are braking, power so far. I'm not going to mess with advanced because Ian told me not to. Okay, and yeah, so you cannot change this you can't have different profiles with different speedometer settings, unfortunately. That would be nice, but you can change different braking profiles. All right, so you got different braking profiles. You can save with each profile, and then you can change the power. All right, unfortunately you can't change the throttle settings. Okay, you're just gonna have to remember what throttle setting you are for like drag racing. Okay, but yeah, so that works for now. Okay, so that's a little I'm gonna put it back on baseline again. Okay, so that's a little test. That's just to show you guys what the profiles are like. Okay, well, apparently it doesn't. You can't save all the settings specifically for one profile. There's certain stuff like the power and the braking, but you can't change the throttle settings, which is kind of funny. Okay, but that's how it works. All right, but it's nice to have. I do like that. That's a nice feature to have. All right. All right. Thanks for watching. Here's me out.